All right, so Bitcoin, huh? Not looking so hot right now. Like what, 81,500 and some change, right? Down again today.
Yeah, another dip, down 1.58% today.
So where does that put us overall in the crypto world? I feel like I keep hearing about these big drops.
Oh, it's been rough. Like since Friday, the whole market's down, what, over $160 billion?
Yeah, I guess tariffs and all that global economic stuff is spooking people.
Right. It's like, who knows what's next? But hey, maybe April will be better, right? I mean, historically speaking.
Oh, yeah, that's right. April's supposed to be good for Bitcoin, isn't it?
Yeah, April's been a strong month for Bitcoin in the past. Pretty interesting, actually. Like, since 2010, the average return for Bitcoin in April has been around 27%.
Wow, 27%. That's a pretty decent bump.
Yeah, and if you look at the data, like from bar chart, April is actually the third best month for Bitcoin returns overall. Only November and May have better averages.
Interesting. So maybe there's some hope then for us Bitcoiners.
It's definitely a historical tailwind to consider.
Definitely. But let's not forget about Mt. Gox, right? That whole situation seems like it could throw a wrench in things.
Oh, absolutely. Mt. Gox is the big wild card here. It definitely adds a layer of complexity to the whole thing.
So for people who aren't familiar with that whole saga, what's the potential impact we need to be aware of?
Okay, so you have to remember Mt. Gox was this massive Bitcoin exchange back in the day, like a really significant player. And then, boom, they get hacked. It all goes under.
Yeah, total disaster, right?
Total chaos.
No.
But now they're finally starting to move some of that Bitcoin. They're transferring a huge chunk of it to these centralized exchange wallets like Kraken.
Okay. And that's where the potential problem comes in, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, all these creditors who are finally getting their Bitcoin back, they bought in ages ago when Bitcoin was worth way, way less.
So they're sitting on huge profits now.
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
And the worry is a lot of them are going to want to cash out, realize those gains. And that could mean a flood of Bitcoin hitting the market all at once.
Which could cause the price to tank.
Exactly. All that supply could create serious selling pressure, at least in the short term.
Yeah, I can see how that could be a problem, even with April's typically good performance.
Right. It's like which force is going to win out, the historical trend or this sudden influx of supply.
It's like a tug of war. So even if people aren't selling their Mt. Gox Bitcoin yet, just the thought of it happening might be enough to spook investors.
Oh, for sure. That anticipation alone could trigger a sell-off. And I think we're already seeing some of that. Like the CEO of Deribit, Luke Strigers, he's been pretty vocal about Mt. Gox being a near-term risk.
Okay, so Mt. Gox is definitely something to keep an eye on.
No doubt. But it's not the whole story, right?
Yeah.
Like, we have to consider the other side of the coin, too.
The historical April strength.
Exactly. Like, analysts over at CoinDesk have been pointing out that April's seasonality, that historical performance, it could still have a big impact, especially when you factor in some other potentially positive signs.
Like what?
Well, for one, there's been a noticeable slowdown in selling from long-term Bitcoin holders.
Really? So the people who've been in it for the long haul, they're not panicking?
It seems that way, which could be a sign that they're still confident in Bitcoin's long-term prospects.
Okay, so it's kind of a mixed bag then. We've got April's historical strength on one side, but then the Mt. Gox wild card on the other.
It really is. And that makes it super challenging to predict what's going to happen next.
Yeah, it's like trying to read tea leaves. So for our listeners out there who are trying to make sense of all this, what's the key takeaway?
Well, I think the most important thing is to understand that there are these two opposing forces at play right now. The historical tendency for Bitcoin to rise in April, and the uncertainty surrounding Mt. Gox and potential selling pressure. And how those forces interact is going to determine what happens in the market.
So basically, pay attention, do your research, and don't make any rash decisions.
Exactly. Weigh the risks and the potential rewards carefully.
Good advice. So, to recap for everyone, Bitcoin is down right now, but historically, April has been a good month. But then there's the Mt. Gox situation, which is a huge question mark and could send the price in either direction. It's a fascinating time to be watching Bitcoin, that's for sure.
For sure. It's a classic example of how historical trends and real-time market events can collide and create this super volatile environment.
And on that note, I'll leave you with something to ponder. How can you use this information, this knowledge of April's historical performance, and the potential impact of Mt. Gox to make smart decisions in the coming weeks? It's a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.